My buddy's fiancée cheated at her bachelorette party, thought he'd never find out. But he quietly vanished before the wedding, and what happened next left the entire room in shock. I'm John, 29M, and this is about my best friend Theo, 30M, and his ex-fiancée Sienna, 28F. Before anyone asks why I'm telling this story, Theo gave me permission. He said if I wanted to share it, go ahead. He's already living his best life on the other side of the country. Let me paint you a picture of Theo first, because understanding him is crucial to understanding why this went down the way it did. This man is a commercial pilot, flies international routes for a major airline. 6'3", built like he never left his college rugby days behind, and has this presence that makes people automatically respect him. He's the guy who never raises his voice because he doesn't need to. When he walks into a room, people notice. When he speaks, people listen. We met in college when I was getting my geology degree and he was in aviation. Bonded over both being on the rugby team and having zero tolerance for fake people. That's the thing about Theo, he values honesty and loyalty above everything else. Cross him once, you're done. No second chances, no negotiations. Sienna came into the picture 3 years ago. She's a sommelier at one of those restaurants where appetizers cost more than my monthly grocery budget. Beautiful, sophisticated, knew her wine like I know prehistoric fossils. At first, I thought she was perfect for him. She seemed to match his energy, confident, ambitious, no nonsense. She wasn't intimidated by his success or his personality. If anything, she seemed to thrive on it. Their relationship moved fast but not recklessly. They traveled together whenever his flight benefits allowed, Paris, Tokyo, Dubai. She'd post these photos of them at vineyards and exclusive lounges, always looking like they stepped out of a magazine. When Theo proposed last year at her favorite vineyard in Napa, nobody was surprised. It felt inevitable. The engagement party was exactly what you'd expect from them, upscale but not pretentious, open bar with top shelf everything, about 150 people at a private venue downtown. Sienna was glowing, Theo looked proud as F, and everyone kept saying they were couple goals or whatever buzzword people use now. Fast forward to 2 months before the wedding. Sienna's bachelorette party was in Miami, a 4-day thing with 8 of her closest friends. Theo was completely cool with it. He's not the jealous type, never has been. His attitude was go have fun with your girls, I trust you. He even arranged for them to have a table at some exclusive club through a connection from his airline. Meanwhile, his bachelor party was typical Theo. We rented a cabin in Colorado, went fly fishing, drank expensive whiskey, and talked SHT around a fire pit. No strippers, no clubs, just 8 guys disconnecting from the world for a weekend. That's who he is. Here's where everything went to SHT. 3 weeks before the wedding, I'm at work cataloging specimens when I get a text from a number I don't recognize. No message, just a video file. I almost deleted it thinking it was spam, but something made me open it. The video was clearly from a club, strobing lights, loud music, people everywhere. But the camera was focused on one particular booth. There was Sienna, in a silver dress I recognized from her Instagram stories, making out with some guy who definitely wasn't Theo. And I don't mean a drunk kiss, I mean full on, hands everywhere, grinding on each other making out. I felt physically sick. My first thought was maybe it was old footage, maybe from before she met Theo. But then I saw one of her bridesmaids in the background wearing a Bride's Crew Miami 2024 sash. There were 3 more videos. Each one worse than the last. The final one showed them leaving together, her barely able to walk, him practically carrying her to an Uber. I sat in my office for 2 hours staring at my phone. Who the F sent these? Why? And what was I supposed to do with them? The sender never responded to my texts asking who they were. The number was one of those app-generated ones that could be from anywhere. But honestly, it didn't matter who sent them. What mattered was what was on them. I spent 3 days debating what to do. Delete them and pretend I never saw anything? Tell Theo immediately? Confront Sienna myself? I kept thinking about their wedding, 300 guests invited, probably $80,000 already spent, families flying in from different countries. But then I'd think about Theo standing at that altar, promising his life to someone who did this behind his back. I knew Theo well enough to know he'd want the truth. He'd rather have his world burned down with honesty than live in a palace built on lies. So I texted him, need to talk. In person. It's important. We met at his apartment the next evening. Sienna was at some wine tasting event for work. I didn't say anything at first, just handed him my phone with the first video queued up. I've seen Theo angry before. I've seen him knock out a guy who groped a woman at a bar. I've seen him tear into a coworker who tried to throw him under the bus. But this was different. He didn't yell. He didn't throw anything. He just went completely still. He watched all 4 videos twice. His jaw was clenched so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. When he finally looked up at me, his eyes were cold in a way I'd never seen before. "Who else knows?" he asked. "Just me, as far as I know." He nodded slowly, then stood up and walked to his window. For 5 minutes, he just stared out at the city. When he turned back, he had this calm that was honestly scarier than if he'd been raging. "I need you to send these to me," he said. "And I need you to not say anything to anyone. Can you do that?" "Of course. What are you going to do?" That's when he smiled, not a happy smile, but the kind of smile a shark might have before it attacks. "I'm going to give her the wedding she deserves." Update 1, posted 2 weeks later. Title, Update, my best friend found out his fiancée cheated. The wedding is in 5 days. Where do I even start? First, thanks for all the comments on my original post. To answer some common questions, yes, this is real. No, I don't know who sent the videos. Yes, I'm still processing all of this. It's been 2 weeks since I showed Theo the videos. The wedding is in 5 days, and what I'm witnessing is either the most brilliant or most psychotic thing I've ever seen. Theo hasn't confronted Sienna. He's been playing the perfect fiancé. Actually, he's been even more attentive than usual. Brought her flowers twice last week, took her to her favorite restaurant, posted a countdown to the wedding on his Instagram with some caption about marrying his soulmate. She has no f***ing clue. But behind the scenes? This man has been methodical. He hired a private investigator. Yeah, you read that right. Turns out the guy from the video wasn't some random. He's a bartender at a club in Miami who Sienna has been texting for months. The PI found their whole conversation history through some legal methods I don't fully understand. Over 500 messages, starting 3 months before the Bachelorette party. Photos exchanged. Plans to meet up. The works. The Bachelorette party wasn't a drunken mistake. It was planned. Theo also found out that 2 of her bridesmaids knew. They were covering for her, helping arrange the meetup, keeping the other girls distracted. The betrayal went deeper than just Sienna. Here's the kicker, remember how I said the wedding probably cost around $80,000? Try $125,000. Sienna's parents put down $50,000, Theo covered the rest. Venue, catering, flowers, band, photographer, everything is non-refundable at this point. Theo's been documenting everything. Screenshots, receipts, timeline of events. He even got a lawyer friend to review everything to make sure he's protecting himself legally. The apartment they share? It's in his name. The joint savings account they opened for the honeymoon? He withdrew his portion last week and she hasn't noticed. He asked me to be ready with a very specific task on the wedding day. I'm the best man, and during the ceremony, I'll have an envelope in my jacket. If he gives me a certain signal, I'm supposed to hand it to the officiant. If he doesn't, I keep it and we never speak of it again. You're really going through with the ceremony? I asked him yesterday. She wanted a memorable wedding, he said. I'm going to make sure she never forgets it. The rehearsal dinner is tomorrow night. Both families will be there. Sienna's been stressed about the small details. The flowers might be the wrong shade of white. The cake topper isn't exactly what she envisioned. She actually complained to Theo that the champagne for the toast isn't the vintage she wanted. Meanwhile, Theo's already moved his important belongings to a storage unit. His passport, documents, valuable watches, all gone from their apartment. He's been shipping boxes to a friend's place in Denver where he's planning to stay for a while. 3 of our groomsmen know what's happening. The other 2 don't, and we're keeping it that way because one of them can't keep a secret to save his life. The 3 who know are ready to back Theo's play, whatever it is. I went dress shopping with my girlfriend last week. She's a bridesmaid. Yeah, this is complicated. Watching her get excited about the wedding while knowing what's coming. My girlfriend doesn't know, and it's cling me not to tell her, but Theo asked me to keep it tight. Sienna's been extra affectionate with Theo lately. Talking about their future kids, the house they're going to buy, maybe getting a dog. She showed him Pinterest boards for nursery designs. It's sociopathic when you know what she did. The Miami bartender? He has no idea what's coming either. Still texting Sienna. She told him the wedding is just something she has to get through and they can be together after. I know this because Theo showed me the messages. She's planning to cheat during the marriage. Theo's mental state is complicated. He's not eating much, works out twice a day now, and I don't think he's sleeping more than 4 hours a night. But he's laser focused. He said something that stuck with me. I could have forgiven a drunken mistake. People F up. But this is who she is. And she was going to let me marry her knowing what she did. She was going to stand there, in front of my family, my grandmother, and promise to be faithful when she's already planning her next hookup. The wedding is at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Catholic ceremony. Sienna's family is religious, which makes this even more twisted. Then cocktail hour, then reception until midnight. 300 confirmed guests. Her extended family is flying in from Italy. His rugby team is coming. Our college friends took time off work. Everyone's about to witness something unprecedented. Update 2, posted 3 days after the wedding. Title, Update 2, the wedding happened. It was nuclear. I'm writing this from my apartment with a glass of whiskey that I desperately need. The wedding was 3 days ago, and the fallout is still ongoing. Saturday morning, 8 a.m. I meet Theo at his hotel room. The groomsmen got ready there, his cousin, his brother, 3 guys from our rugby days, and me. Theo was calm. Scary calm. Showered, shaved, put on his tux like it was any other day. The other guys were joking around, doing shots, normal wedding stuff. Only 3 of us knew what was potentially coming. You good? I asked him while the others were distracted. Never better, he said, adjusting his cufflinks. You have the envelope? I patted my jacket pocket. Inside was everything, printed screenshots of texts, photos from the pie, a USB drive with the videos, and a letter Theo had written. He'd made copies of everything and left them with his lawyer too. We took the normal groomsmen photos. Theo looked perfect in every shot, smiling, laughing with the boys, no sign of what was in his head. The photographer kept saying what a happy groom he was. 2 p.m. We arrive at the church. It's beautiful, stone architecture, stained glass, the works. Sienna's family had decorated it with white roses and baby's breath. Must have cost thousands just for the flowers. Guests started arriving. Theo was greeting people, shaking hands, taking photos with elderly relatives. His grandmother, 84 years old, flew in from Phoenix. She kept telling everyone how proud she was, how Theo had found such a lovely girl. 3:30 p.m. I'm standing at the altar with Theo and the other groomsmen. The church is packed. 300 people easy, all dressed up, all here to witness true love or whatever they thought they were about to see. The music starts. Bridesmaids walk down the aisle. My girlfriend was third. She smiled at me, and I had to look away because I felt like a fraud standing there. Then the wedding march begins. The doors open. Sienna appears with her father. She looked King stunning, I'll give her that. Designer dress that probably cost more than most people's cars, cathedral-length veil, diamond jewelry. She was crying already, happy tears, she thought. Her father walked her down that aisle so proudly. A traditional Italian man who'd been telling everyone how he was not losing a daughter but gaining a son. He kissed her cheek at the altar and shook Theo's hand firmly before sitting down. Sienna took Theo's hands. Looked into his eyes. Mouthed I love you. The priest began. Opening prayers, readings, the whole Catholic ceremony. Theo played along perfectly. Read his readings, participated in the prayers, never broke character. Then came the vows section. Before we proceed with the vows, the priest said, the couple has chosen to share personal words with each other. This wasn't in the rehearsal. Sienna looked confused but happy. Theo turned to me. The signal. I pulled out the envelope and handed it to him. Sienna's smile flickered. The church was dead silent. Theo took the microphone from the priest. Sienna, he began, his voice carrying through the church. 3 years ago, you walked into my life and I thought I'd found my equal. Someone who valued loyalty, honesty, and commitment as much as I did. She was smiling again, probably thinking this was just romantic vows. I need to share something with everyone here, Theo continued. 2 months ago, Sienna went to Miami for her bachelorette party. While there, she met up with a man named Carlos. A bartender she'd been texting for months. The smile froze on her face. I have here, Theo held up the envelope, evidence of their ongoing affair. Messages planning their meetups. Photos. Videos of them together that night. And messages from after, where she calls this wedding something she has to get through before they can be together. Gasps erupted through the church. Sienna went white. Her father stood up. This is BS. Sienna's voice cracked. Theo, what are you doing? "I'm doing what you couldn't," he said. "Being honest." He handed the envelope to the priest, who looked like he might faint. Then Theo turned to address the crowd. "To our families and friends who traveled here, I apologize. You came to witness a marriage that won't be happening. To those who gave gifts, my lawyer will ensure they're returned. To Sienna's family." He looked at her parents. "I'm sorry you had to learn about your daughter this way." Her father was already heading for the altar. Her mother was crying. The bridesmaids were in chaos, two of them, the ones who knew, trying to look shocked, the others genuinely stunned. "Carlos from Miami," Theo continued, "if you're watching the live stream like Sienna promised you could, she's all yours now." The live stream. Her cousin was streaming for relatives who couldn't make it. This was being broadcast to another 100 people. Sienna grabbed Theo's arm. "Please, let me explain. It was a mistake. I was drunk. It meant nothing." 500 text messages aren't a mistake, Theo said, pulling his arm away. "Planning to meet him during our honeymoon isn't a mistake. It's who you are." Her father reached the altar. "You humiliate my daughter like this? In God's house?" "Your daughter humiliated herself," Theo responded. "I just refused to be her victim." Then he walked out. Straight down the aisle, past 300 stunned guests, out the church doors. His brother and cousin followed. I stayed for a moment, looking at the chaos. Sienna collapsed onto the altar steps, her dress pulling around her. Her mother was screaming at the priest to do something. Her father was ripping decorations down. Guests were pulling out phones, some calling others, some recording. The photographer was still taking pictures, probably unsure if he should stop. My girlfriend ran up to me. "What the F just happened?" "I'll explain later. I have to go." I found Theo in the parking lot, already out of his tux jacket, leaning against his brother's car. "You good?" I asked. "Yeah," he said. "I'm good. First time I've felt good in 3 weeks." His phone was blowing up. He turned it off without looking. "What now?" I asked. "Now? I've got a flight to Denver tonight. Starting a new route next month, Tokyo. Always wanted to live abroad for a while." The reception hall was chaos when I drove past. Guests were showing up to a wedding that wasn't happening. The catering staff was confused. The band was setting up for nothing. Later heard Sienna's family tried to make it into just a party, but barely anyone stayed. Update 3, posted 2 weeks after the wedding. Title, Update 3, 2 weeks later, the aftermath. Last update, because after this, I'm done reliving this SHT. The immediate aftermath was insane. The video of Theo's revelation went viral on TikTok. Someone at the wedding had been recording, and groom exposes cheating bride at altar got 4 million views before Sienna's family got it taken down. But the internet is forever, it's still floating around on other platforms. Sienna tried to do damage control. Posted a long Instagram story about how Theo misrepresented the situation, how she was substanced in Miami, how the messages were taken out of context. Nobody bought it. The evidence was too overwhelming. Her comments got so brutal she made her account private, then deleted it entirely. The bartender, Carlos? He went ghost immediately. Deleted all his social media, apparently quit his job at the club. Guess he didn't want the smoke. The financial fallout was significant. Sienna's family lost about $50,000 on the wedding. Theo lost his $75,000 portion too, but he said it was worth it. "Best money I ever spent," he texted me. "Some people pay that much for a car. I paid it for my freedom and dignity." Their apartment situation got messy. Sienna had to move out since it was in Theo's name. She tried to claim she had tenant rights, but when Theo's lawyer reminded her about the evidence of planning to commit adultery, which could affect her reputation at the upscale restaurant where she works, she left within a week. She did get fired from her sommelier position. Apparently, the restaurant's owner was at the wedding. Saw the whole thing. Decided they didn't want someone with her judgment issues representing their establishment. Hard to sell $500 bottles of wine when your reputation is destroyed. The friend group imploded. The 2 bridesmaids who knew about the affair got ostracized. One of them tried to defend herself, saying she was just being a supportive friend, but nobody wanted to hear it. My girlfriend cut them both off completely. She's still processing the betrayal, finding out her supposed friends watched her get excited about a wedding they knew was built on lies. Sienna's family is in chaos. Her father apparently hasn't spoken to her since the wedding. Her mother tried to reconcile, but even she's struggling with the evidence. The traditional Italian family that was so proud of their daughter? That pride turned to shame real quick. Her younger sister returned her bridesmaid dress to Sienna with a note that just said, "You disgust me." Here's something that came out later. Sienna had been talking to other guys too. Carlos was just the one she actually met up with. The Pi found at least 2 other men she was sexting. Theo dodged a F-King bullet, no, a nuclear missile. Theo's doing better than expected. He's been in Denver for 2 weeks, staying with our college friend who owns a brewery there. Started therapy to process everything. Said the therapist told him his response was calculated but not pathological, which is probably the best outcome we could hope for. He sent me a photo yesterday from a hike in the Rockies. First genuine smile I've seen from him in months. The Tokyo route starts next month, and he's looking forward to it. New city, new life, new start. Some people said he should have just called off the wedding privately, saved everyone the embarrassment. But knowing Theo, and knowing what Sienna did, I get it. She didn't just cheat, she planned to continue cheating. She was going to take vows she had no intention of keeping. She was going to make him live a lie. The exposure wasn't just revenge, it was protection. Now everyone knows who she is. No one else will fall for her act. Her next boyfriend will Google her and find out exactly what kind of person she is. As for me, I learned something valuable. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when you have a friend like Theo, who values truth and loyalty above all else, keep them close. There aren't many people left who will choose difficult honesty over comfortable lies. My girlfriend and I are stronger for it, actually. We had long conversations about boundaries, expectations, and what we want from each other. Watching that disaster made us both more committed to transparency. The last text I got from Theo said, "Thanks for having my back. Not everyone would have shown me those videos. You saved my life." I don't know if I saved his life, but I definitely saved him from a life not worth living. To anyone reading this in a similar situation, whether you're the friend with horrible information or the person being cheated on, the truth will come out eventually. Better to face it head on than live in denial. And if you're thinking about cheating, remember that in 2024, everything is recorded, screenshot, or witnessed. Your betrayal will come to light. Sienna wanted a memorable wedding. She got one. Just not the kind she planned. Final update, posted 3 months after the wedding. Title, Final update, 3 months later, where everyone ended up. Alright, absolute final update because people keep DMing me asking how everyone's doing. Theo is thriving in Tokyo. Sent me a photo last week from some exclusive rooftop bar overlooking the city. He's been promoted to captain on the Tokyo LAX route, making insane money, and dating a Japanese-Brazilian model he met at his gym. Not rebounding, they're taking it slow, but she knows the whole story and respects him for how he handled it. He started a motorcycle racing hobby there and said it's the best therapy he's ever had. "Nothing clears your head like doing 180 miles per hour on a track," he texted me. The man leveled up in every possible way. Sienna. Not so much. Through the grapevine, my girlfriend still has mutual friends with her. We heard she moved back with her parents in shame. Tried to get a job at another upscale restaurant but her reputation preceded her. She's currently working at a wine shop in the suburbs, huge downgrade from her sommelier position. Carlos never contacted her again after everything went public. The other guys she was texting also vanished. Guess nobody wants to date someone who became a viral cautionary tale. Her family never recovered. Her father still won't speak to her. Her sister skipped Christmas rather than be in the same room. The proud Italian family that used to brag about their successful daughter now changes the subject when people ask about her. The 2 bridesmaids who knew? Both lost their friend groups. One moved to another city for a fresh start. The other is still around but nobody trusts her. My girlfriend ran into her at a coffee shop and said it was the most awkward interaction ever. She tried to act normal but everyone knows she's the friend who covers for cheaters. The wedding vendors felt bad for Theo and several reached out. The photographer sent him all the pre-ceremony photos of him and the groomsmen for free, edited beautifully. Said he'd never seen someone handle betrayal with such class. The venue coordinator refunded Theo's bar deposit without him even asking, about $5,000. Small gestures, but shows how much people respected how he handled it. Here's something wild. Theo's story inspired 3 other people to leave their cheating partners. I got messages from wedding guests saying watching that disaster gave them the courage to confront their own situations. One guy said, "If Theo could walk away from that with his head high, so could I." My relationship with my girlfriend got even stronger. We actually went to couples counseling just to make sure we were communicating properly. Not because we had issues, but because we wanted to prevent them. The counselor said we were one of the healthiest couples she'd seen, we just needed reassurance after witnessing such a betrayal. Theo and I still talk weekly. He's different now, not broken, but refined. Like pressure turned him into a diamond. He said the experience taught him to trust his instincts and never compromise his values for anyone. Better to be alone with dignity than together with doubt, he told me. The legal stuff wrapped up cleanly. Sienna tried to claim she was owed money from their joint account, but Theo's lawyer shut that down fast with the evidence of her affair. She ended up owing him money for the apartment's broken lease. Don't think she ever paid it. The whole thing became legend in our city. Getting Theo'd is now slang in our circle for exposing someone's BS publicly. The church where it happened? The priest apparently uses it as a cautionary tale in pre-marriage counseling. I've seen what happens when people enter marriage dishonestly, he supposedly tells couples. Sienna tried to resurface on social media with a new Instagram under a fake name. Got discovered within a week and bullied off the platform again. The internet doesn't forget. Last thing, Theo sent me something interesting last month. A thank you card from a woman who was at the wedding. She wrote that watching him stand up for himself inspired her to leave her emotionally abusive husband. She said, "Your courage gave me courage. Thank you for showing me that it's better to face the truth than live a lie." That's what people don't understand about what Theo did. It wasn't just about revenge or humiliation. It was about refusing to let someone make him complicit in their deception. It was about showing that actions have consequences. It was about demonstrating that respect for yourself matters more than avoiding temporary embarrassment. Do I think he could have handled it differently? Sure. But I also think Sienna counted on him handling it quietly. She thought his pride would make him call it off privately, let her save face, maybe even blame it on growing apart. Instead, she learned that betraying someone who values loyalty above all else comes with a price. Theo paid $75,000 to maintain his integrity. Sienna lost everything trying to have her cake and eat it too. That's the end of this story. Theo's living his best life in Tokyo. Sienna's scanning wine bottles in suburbia. And I'm just glad I could be there for my friend when he needed me most. To everyone who followed this story, remember this: when someone trusts you enough to be vulnerable with you, honor that trust. And when someone breaks your trust, you don't owe them your silence. Stay loyal to those who stay loyal to you. Edit, since people keep asking, yes, I have Theo's permission to share this. He actually encouraged me to tell the whole story. He said, if it helps one person avoid marrying a cheater or gives someone the courage to leave a toxic situation, then something good came from this mess. That's the kind of man he is. Edit 2, to the people saying Theo went too far, you weren't there. You didn't see him watch those videos. You didn't see a good man realize the woman he loved was planning to betray him throughout their entire marriage. You didn't see him struggle with whether to protect her reputation or protect his truth. He chose truth. I respect that. Final edit, Theo read all your comments. He said, thanks for the support. He's not on Reddit but wanted me to pass along this message. Life's too short to pretend things are fine when they're not. Have the courage to face reality, even when it hurts. The pain of truth is temporary. The pain of living a lie is forever. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.